Asna, 1. City, the blue shark is now a baby shark. It's a stickleback. 0. First time in 13 attempts in the Premier League, we actually got the win. We're not going to get carried away with it because we don't do that on this channel. We let the other people do that. But we are going to extremely enjoy it for the next week, 2 weeks, whatever it may be, until we play Chelsea. But yeah, we beat Man City. Weren't the prettiest of games. We don't care. Jez, before we get into your little breakdown, if anyone ain't watched your fan cam, make sure you are subbing to Jez, Arsenal history and more. Make sure you sub to Matty, the Southern Gooner. Both links will be in the title. And give us your little breakdown, dissection, Jez, as a veteran of these Arsenal City games over the years. Yeah. We finally beat them, Jez.
We did, and it's about time. Respect to Arteta, respect to the players. We outgunned them, as I said on my fan cam. And the fact is, we controlled them. And I've been thinking on the point that you made, Lee, that Haaland got absolutely no service. That has to be down. You have to give a credit to the midfield. Not a great midfield we've got, in fairness. I was looking at that starting lineup. I thought, oh, my God. Oh, my God. But we did it. And sometimes it's the old 1-0 to the Arsenal. And we did it under George Graham and we did it under Arsene Wenger. So well done, Arteta. You got it bang on today, my friend.
Yeah. Matty, give us your little breakdown, man. We were on the watch along. We were stressing me street level 100. Yeah. It weren't pretty, but we don't care. They've done us in stoppage time. We've been smashed and grabbed before. I wouldn't say we smashed and grabbed them because they were poor, but we made them look poor, right?
Yep. It was finally we were able to get one up on the old Pep. It was, like you said, it was not a pretty game. It was not for the faint of heart. Let's put it like that. It was not for the faint of heart. But 1-0 is a win. It is 3 points in the coffer. And hate to be cliche, but we move on.
Yeah. We roll on to the next 8 games deep. Listen, you know how this works, people. If you don't agree with the ratings, cry. We don't care. We're back on the 21st against Chelsea. I think it's 21st, 20th or 21st. Either 21st. Way. Yeah. 21st. There you go. Yeah, against Chelsea, who have won 3 in a row for the first time since 2022. We're nearly in 24. Yeah, let's not laugh too much. But I want to see Martinelli's settings. Anyway, Jez, let's go with the goalkeeper. Not great today. Didn't have anything to do, let's be real, really, apart from pass the ball out the back. And our defenders, midfielders, wingers were statuesque. Everyone's going to kick off. He kicked it out of play. He did this, he did that, whatever. What did you make of him?
Well, he was shaky to start, that's for sure. Nearly cost us a goal. But I have to question at times when he was stood on the edge of his box and he's just looking like for movement. Like, anybody actually going to run for me? Anybody going to do anything? Because he had no options. Nobody's doing anything. And that, I think, I have to question our captain for that, because I'm thinking, well, why are you just standing around? But he started off shaky, but let's get it right. He did make some decent clearances with his fists, which I like to see, because Ramsdale very, very rarely ever does that. And there's one corner where he came out and took the ball right off the top of Haaland's head. And respect to him for that. So I'll give him a 7.
Benjamin White, Matt. Now, I didn't really see a great deal of him today. But there was one moment. Close your legs, Doku.
Yeah.
Close your legs, my friend. What do you make of it?
I think Ben had I wouldn't say a top of the line game. He did what he needed to do when he needed to do it. The overlaps on the flanks and open up that space. It was a lot of times in the broadcast you kept hearing me say Make you run. Even if you're not getting the ball, just make the run. He did it. Like you said, Daku. I think after that, that's when his confidence went up. After he pulled that move off, that's when everything started kind of falling in place. I'd have to give him a 6.5, 7 today. I think he just did an efficient job. I feel, to be honest with you, I just feel like defense itself this did pretty much a good job today. They held the fort down for us.
Zinchenko, off of the back of his Instagram posts, everyone was like, is he going to start? Will he start? Oh, he starts. What about when Doku comes on? Jez, what do you make of him today?
Yeah, I mean, I found him a bit confusing today. I mean, he did do some very good tackles. I can't deny that. But yeah, interesting today. I'm going to have to. I will give him a 7. I'll tell you why I'll give him a 7. There was a couple of points in time in that game where he did drop back into the right position he's supposed to be playing in, not back out in midfield and on the right wing. So fair play to him, man. I'll give him a 7.
William Saliba, mate.
I wanted him.
All right. Stone Cold 10, my friend. He kept Haaland in check. He was cleaning it up. He was just efficient across the back line. Much better performance than what we saw earlier this week in the Champions League. Much better performance. It was exactly what we needed. And as I stated in the watch along there, that's one of the key reasons why what happened at the end of our season last year is happened. We did not have someone that was like this at the back. And also, I think in that second City game last year, I think he was out, and that was, now you see the difference when we have him in. Just an overall great performance, man. Any youngster that plays center back, go watch that film today. And Lee, that one moment where we thought Haaland was in, and he came in and he cleaned it up. Top draw today, man.
Yeah.
Rating?
10.
10.
10 for me. 10.
Wow, man of the match.
Yeah. Well, no. That's not my man in the match, but he's right there.
But he's a 10.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I got 2. If you give me the other one, I got another one coming today.
Gabriel Magalhaes.
Quality, absolute quality. Didn't put a foot wrong, really. This guy's improving season on season. Yeah, we all know that he had the bozo gene. He seems to have got rid of that now. It's been bred out of him. And class today. I'm not sure I'd have given Saliba a 10, but I certainly would have put him up there. But Gabriel, 8.
Let's go to midfield. Jorginho, Matt.
Jorginho, man. This fella here, man. I mean, the curious case of Jorginho. I mean, when I saw him on the lineup today, I just kind of was just like, oh man. Honestly, I think if Partey had been around for a couple of weeks, I think he would have started today. But I think this was basically a stopgap. He did fair. I give him a 6. Y'all know my 6 is a tough, by the way.
Oh, he missed. I thought he scored. Let's go to Martin Odegaard, Jez.
Odegaard, yeah. I mean, he disappeared, came back in, disappeared, came back in. But he did his captain's role. There's one point in that game. Oh, actually, there's 2 or 3 points in that game. He was really getting on the team. He was getting on the crowd. Do you know, I've seen some comments, not on your channel, but on a couple of others, how electric the fan base were today. Really? I thought they were quiet. It reminds me of the old Highbury Library days, when it was just dead. And I didn't get the impression that you had Odegaard like this to the crowd. Come on.
Twice.
Come on.
Yeah.
And I think Kenny would agree with that. He was there. Odegaard. Yeah, he did his job, man. He did his job, and I'll give him a 7.
Declan Rice, Matt, clears one off the line after 3 minutes.
Lee, you asked me about the 10, and here go the other one. I mean, Declan Rice, man, $100 million. I told you earlier, $100 million. This guy is sure-footed. Every once in a while, he has a little bit of a rough game, but today, when you needed it, when you wanted somebody to step up to the big occasion, someone that's been there before, that was the player today. He was all over the place, working hard, back forth, you know, and it was everything that you could ask for in a player. He gave just an overall, if I wrote it down, a robust performance. I wanted to make sure I had the proper word. Robust performance today. Top shelf. My man of the match. That's my man of the match. He also gets a 10.
I agree.
Let's go.
I gave him 10.
Yeah. Yes.
Me? Eddie Nketiah. Waste of time. That guy, I'm sorry. I hate to keep saying it. This guy is rubbish. Why would you tackle your own captain when you're offside?
And he was offside.
And he was offside. Remember that, Lee? We were sitting there watching the game, and that's what I remember. Like, what are you doing? Like, what is this guy doing?
He has got to have the lowest IQ in football of any professional footballer I've ever known. You took the ball off your captain in an offside position. Shocking. Rubbish, crap, 3. And you're lucky to get 3.
Gabriel Jesus, Matt.
Jesus had a good game, but there were times, and me and you talked about this during the match. Over dribbling. There's a lot of over. He has to work that out of his game, and I'm afraid he's so old now that it might not work out. But the over dribbling, when there's simple layoffs or there's opportunity for the shot, I think he did well today, filling in for Saka. You know, I just think that we could have played to go to piggyback off Jeff. Not Jay, excuse me. I just feel like we could Nketiah, he would have been better served that way. Nketiah was, and we probably would have had another different discussion. But overall, I have to give him a 7. He did his job. He did what he needed to do, and it was good that he stayed on most of the game today. Well, all of the game, pretty much. And that's I think having a player like that to go for you for 90 minutes just it makes life a little bit easier for you when you're trying to scrape something. So yeah, I think he did well.
Jez, Leandro Trossard hooks at half time.
Yeah, didn't think he was great today, Lee. He didn't really. I don't know. Was it the tactics today? I don't know. I question it. He didn't seem to get the ball enough and make an impact enough. He had some good moves, but it wasn't enough today. I was expecting more of him. I was happy to see him start, but yeah, he deserved to get hooked at half time, and I'll give him a 6.
Let's go to the subs bench. Gabriel Martinelli, Matty, came on at half time, showed a bit of directness, had a shot real quick in the second half. Ultimately, indirectly scored the winner. What did you make of him today?
Yeah, came on. Immediately the tempo went up, energy was up, morale was up, crowd got electrified a little bit. They got up out of their seats. Just added a different dimension. Then Lee went kind of quiet there for a second. And Martinelli fashion pops up.
Boom.
Boom, out of nowhere. And that's what we were lacking. We were lacking that energy, that pace. And I'm going to give him an 8 because of the influence he had there in the last bit of that game. That is the difference when you have your starters in the game and when you do not have players that play normally like that.
Jez, Thomas Partey.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? As soon as he came on, the intensity in the midfield was a totally different game. Yeah, I mean, I have to question this injury situation story. Were these players that really injured? I don't know, but it's a great tactic if it was, and fair play to Arteta for playing it. Made a big difference when he came on. He started that whole move for that goal from Martinelli. So fair
The
play
pass
to him.
was sick.
I have to give him a 7.
Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz, matey. Lays it off. We're in the mud.
In the mud.
We're in the mud.
You know, during the cast there, I said you and Ola said, you know, they get ready to bring him on, right? And y'all was thinking he was going to
Right, I
midfield.
bounced out the stream as soon as I see him.
I said he's going up top, so that way he doesn't cause chaos. And that was and kudos to Mikel Arteta for putting him there, because it took a little bit of pressure off of him, and he was able to kind of gallivant without getting in people's way, and it worked out for him. This is me personally. Y'all know how I feel about him, but if we are gonna play him, that's where he needs to play for the rest of the year. He's out of people's way, substituting up there, and he can just kind of sit up there and, you know, gallivant, pressures off of him. Because if we would have dropped him in midfield, then we're having a completely different discussion. But you know, I think he did well up there, and I'm gonna give Havertz a 6.
Let's go to finally Tomiyasu, Ola's boy.
The Shogun Warrior.
What he was doing, Jez, as a centre forward, right? But Barca have equalised, by the way, 2-2. Yeah, 86th minute. They're so lucky, man. I swear, this club, man. This club is so lucky. But anyway, we digress. Tomiyasu.
Yeah, I mean, I've had many debates about this fella, and I've never disliked him. I mean, when we had him playing at right back at one point, he used to overlap down that right wing and did some good work. And he's done it again, coming on as a sub. Maybe this is his best time to come on as a sub, because when he came on, he caused absolute dramas down that left wing. He was messing up with the midfield, and I love all that. And it was maybe Arteta's tactic, but just to cause some disruption, upset Man City, because they were like looking a little bit jaded at times. And fair play to the man. I'll have to give him a 6, no question.
You know how this works, people. 3, 2, 1 countdown. We're going to rate the manager. If you want to cry, cry. We're back against Chelsea. 3, 2, 1, 6.
7.
I'll give him an 8. I'll tell you what, I'll give him an 8. All right. He came out with a tactic today that I think worked to a point. Both teams looked very cagey today, and I think they were both trying to. It's like a game of chess. They were like trying to suss each other out, which says to me, Pep in his press match conference before the game yesterday, he was like, well, you know, we got to be careful, blah, blah, blah. Now, that's mind games. We all know that. Alex Ferguson was the best at it in the game against Arsenal. But I think he may have been actually talking the truth a little bit, thinking, this could be tricky. And the fact that what we did today, Arteta, I think, got it absolutely bang on. I think Arteta was clever for once. He watched what Pep did with his substitutes, and very quickly, I wouldn't say it was reactionary, Lee, Matt. I think it was clever. I think he thought, right, okay, you've made these subs. I'm making these subs now. Not because I'm being a reaction to you. I'm going to counteract what you're doing in what exactly people do in other levels of sport. And fair play. That's why I give him an 8.
Yep, I'll give him a 7. Lee, I give him a 7 because immediately, remember our reaction when we saw Martinelli coming on, we was like, oh yeah, that wow, you know, that's what we want to see. We want to see you ahead of the curve. Make him adjust to what you're doing. And like I said, he came on, injected some pace, energy, and that's all we could ask for, is to be proactive instead of being reactive. And just like you said, I don't know what the injury prognosis, what was that all about, but like Jez says, fair play to him for pulling that off. That was some mind games. We actually seen him play mind games for a change. So that's a big plus. So we'll see how it goes for the rest of the year. But for today, he did what he needed to do, especially coming off of that early this week.
Yeah, facts. Listen, we're gonna wrap this up. Jez, shout your channel out. What you got coming up, mate?
Arsenal history and more. Tomorrow night at 5 o'clock, I will be on with you, Lee and Kenny, for our weekly podcast. 7:30 tomorrow night, I'm going to match a reaction, and then whatever else I can think of, because we're now going to the international break, and I fucking hate it. Talk about, but we'll just say, if I may, thank you to everybody who has watched, and the channel I did Thursday night with Lee, Kenny, Warren, and the Yeti. It's had mad reviews. I'm happy for that. And the fact that the Yeti has got in contact, a couple of people have got in contact with the Yeti to talk about their issues and problems. And that is exactly what I wanted to get out of that. So thank you, everybody who watched that. It was very important. And long may it get watched and make people aware. I've had people contact me about their children on social media having problems and whatever. So I'm glad it got the reaction it did. So thanks for
fair play, man. Fair play.
Thanks for joining.
Matt, what you got coming up? Shout your channel out, mate.
Shout out to you too for that stream as well. A lot of people don't know my degree is actually in mental health. A lot of people don't know that. And so that was an extremely important stream, and I hope people took something away from it. And you can follow me here on YouTube, Southern Gooner. I've got a couple of streams coming up this week. I'm still trying to narrow down some details. I've got one person in particular I'm gonna try to get on this week if he's not too busy. Hopefully Friday, and we're gonna go from there, man. I'm like Jez. There's only one plus in the international break for me, and that's I'll get a chance to watch Brazil, and that's it. That's it.
And on that bombshell, we're out of here, people. I'll be back tomorrow with Jez and Kenny. Adios, amigos.
Adios. Come on,
Come
you guys.
on. Ramos.